Ben.
Welcome to a live episode of Central PA Pour. We're going to call this one Thursday Night Pints. We got a special guest on tap. How are we doing tonight? I'm Ben. Pass it around. Intros.
Hey, and I'm Brett.
And I'm Dave.
Kevin's muted.
Repeat that one.
Repeat that. You're muted.
Oh, man.
Go ahead, Kev. Introduce yourself. You were muted.
Can you hear me now?
Unmuted.
And I'm Kevin.
And I'm Ozzy.
Ozzy. Hey, we got another
Ozzy?
guest.
We do.
Did Ozzy just want to sit here and drink some beer?
I picked him up on the way here through.
That's right. Yep.
Through Georgia.
Yep.
Hey, so like Ben said, this is the CPP, the Central PA Pour, and we are giving this another whirl at a live episode. So welcome. Some of us are remote. Kevin and them, they're in Georgia. Ben is at his home. And as Ben mentioned, we do have some special guests coming up. And Mr. Dave and I are sitting in the Essex Home Brew Works brew room and recording room. So welcome to this episode. I think we have our problems. We figured them out. We're good to go. So guys, what did we do for Memorial Day? Would you guys have any plans? Did you guys do anything for Memorial Weekend the other week?
We did some redneck bocce playing.
Is that throwing beer bottles?
No, we got an official set, but up and down the grass. No court.
No court. You weren't playing in the stones that are in front of our house, right?
No, I tried to steal them for out back of my house, but no.
Ben, anything you did besides going over your dad's?
We went fishing down near Ocean City with a couple buddies, my father-in-law, brother-in-law, a couple friends. We went striper fishing, caught some rockfish out there, hit the limit in a couple hours. That was really fun.
Cool.
So it's a fun time getting out on the water.
That's cool. Dave, what'd you do?
Not much.
Not much.
Yeah, I had a lot of work to do around the house for that project that I'm working on. And I did some grilling.
Cool.
Worked on that. Had the time to do it.
What, did your grill call you?
Yeah, my grill called me and told me it was ready.
Well, I'll tell you, we went camping. We did shut down. I did shut down my shop that Friday, gave my guys a 4-day weekend. Totally enjoyed 4 days of camping. The downside was Saturday night I had to run home and get more beer. I ran out of fucking beer. So
that's never good.
No, especially this stuff. I see our guests are sitting here waiting to get in the room. We are going to welcome them in. I hope they're ready. I see Matt throwing some back there. Gentlemen, Central PA Pour people, if you guys are out there listening, let's welcome in our two guests. These guys have done a lot for this craft industry in this state. This is Chad and Matt. Guys, welcome to the Central PA Pour.
Thanks for having us, and cheers.
Thanks for having us.
I
Cheers, guys.
wouldn't be too complimentary on that introduction he gave you. He said that you were the Central PA Poor people. So.
That feels about right. Don't tell my wife though.
Guys, I know I've been conversing with you guys for quite some time, and I know we've been trying to do a sit down, but you know what? This is just as damn good.
No, this is great. Obviously, would love to get together, but I think we'll have a good conversation nonetheless.
Well, and hey, the future can hold anything. And I'll tell you what, I got my Brews and PA glass, and I got my Adapt and Overcome.
Oh, me too.
And the stickers are on the wall. Oh, see, I was going to crack one, but I only got 2 left, so I was kind of savoring that. So guys, welcome.
Thank you.
You guys have done a lot. You guys are busy. What do you guys got going on? I mean, today you guys just did something, didn't you?
Well, we announced a few things yesterday, and then today we, continue to share it. Our Montgomery County craft beer scavenger hunt. So this is our 3rd scavenger hunt now, I think, and only the 2nd that's specifically focused to the county. The first one was the entire state of PA to kind of get us through COVID, if you will, and have a little fun as much as we could during that time. So yeah, that's what we just recently announced.
Yeah, wasn't there something with that Adapt and Overcome you guys were going to do today? Matt's laughing.
No, well, actually, yes. Sorry. Yes, there is. The thing I was thinking about was the announcement of the donation, which we're not there yet. We're probably
Okay.
another few weeks away. Just want to finalize all the numbers before we get it out there, because once it's on the internet, there's no taking it off.
Come on now. On
But
the internet, it's all true,
Yeah.
right?
exactly,
Everything.
right? It's all
Don't
true.
even
It's on the
question
internet. But no, for today, today's the last day of our contest for a case of Adapt and Overcome. We're not giving away the full case to one winner. We're going to give away a 4-pack to 6 individuals.
Oh shit! I was waiting for that
Nice.
case to be freaking hand
Right.
delivered, man.
Right.
Come on.
That's what everyone thought. Everyone, when we initially teased it a week or two ago, said, "Oh, I'm going to get a case of beer," and I was like, "No. We want to spread the love as much as possible. So we're going to pick 6 winners of a 4-pack each."
It's more fun if there's 6 winners and not 1. Come on.
Yeah,
It's
you're
way
right.
more
You're
fun.
right.
Yeah,
It's kind of like a 50-50
But-
drawing. It's more fun when you can disperse it and get more people involved.
Exactly.
At least we didn't do
So, yeah, that
24
ends today.
winners, right?
24 winners?
4-pack.
Everybody gets a beer.
Everybody gets 1 can.
Hey, yeah, guess what?
Lot
You
of
got a
shipping.
fucking beer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. And you might have seen we were at Poor Man's yesterday.
Yes.
Or sorry, 2 days. Yeah, yesterday. Yeah, I mean 2 days ago. Sorry, wow, 2 days.
And
ago.
that was a collab?
Yeah, so it was the championship collab. So everybody that has won the championship, March Madness championship in the past, we got them together at Poor Man's
Okay.
and did a giant collab. So Levity, who won the first 2 years we did it, then Trogs, right, and then Warwick Farm, and also Poor Man's, who won this past year. So
Yeah. So that we were really heavily pouring for Fourscore. I mean, it was a great competition. I
it's
think
fun.
what you guys
Lot of
do
fun.
with that breweries, that March Madness thing is it's great. I mean, it creates a lot of online activity and gets people out to the
Oh, yeah.
breweries. So
If you could
Yeah,
see
it's
our
I think
DMs.
go ahead,
Definitely
Ben.
our top piece of content for sure.
Oh yeah, Ben, you and I were talking beforehand. Now, Matt, Chad, you were teasing on your Facebook page of what you brewed. Are you willing to release that?
Of course,
Is it-
yeah. It's not a secret. It's a Helles. So
Okay.
we use two forms of PA malt, which John Trogner was very excited about. So it should be great. Should be mostly PA Helles.
That's cool. Because Ben and I were talking. He said, "Would Trogs just released?" I'm like, "Oh shit, maybe Matt and Chad don't know yet.
Nah.
They want that news
Just
out."
messing around. I was just messing around with the post, but it was fun. We had a really good time. John Trogner set up grill and grilled us all up some meats, and Sam's
Nice.
mom had some egg rolls that were there, so we made those, and we had a really good time. So I'm
Cool,
really excited
cool.
for everybody to try it.
So Chad and Matt, I don't know if you could hear us when you were sitting in the waiting room, but we'll go around and introduce the CPP crew to you. I'm Brett.
Well, you got the names on there. We're all good.
Well, I know, but
I'm Ben. Thank you very much for joining, guys. It's been
Of course.
it's a pleasure to get to talk to you. Man, I consume all of the content you guys are putting out across all the platforms. So it's a pleasure to sit down with you, and what you guys do for the community there's no words for it. It's so awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
yeah, and Dave is off to my left. And we're basically all 3 neighbors, and
Okay.
Ben is the son of Kevin there. And Kevin is our traveler. He's got a new job. He's been traveling the world. Kevin, where are you at right now?
Augusta.
Nice.
Augusta,
Georgia. Yeah.
a couple months late.
Nice.
Yeah, right. I'm going to get school tomorrow.
Oof.
Okay.
Are you playing?
What's the name of it?
It's Westlake Country Club.
Okay.
Not too far.
I'm going to play in the fucking live tournament. I'm going to take the money and run.
There you go. Take
The way they're
millions and
paying.
run.
The way they're paying, maybe they'll take me a Chad.
So, guys,
Oh,
I think we brought you in here. Let's do a freaking beer. What are you guys all going to be drinking?
Yeah. I'm drinking.
You're
lager.
drinking your Adapt and Overcome.
Right back at you. Yep.
What do you
That's
got,
good
Matt?
stuff. Good stuff.
Year of the Lager.
Year of the
Poor
Lager?
Man's.
Sure you
Poor
figured
Man's,
it.
yeah.
I'm going to be drinking a Pravda lager from St. Boniface. I think
Nice.
they got something going on this weekend too, and I think
Mhm.
for every sale of this,
Boniface, right?
yes, for every sale of this beer, I think that it goes back into the Lancaster farming community. So I was over there Saturday for a motorcycle ride. We went out to the World War II weekend, and it was that's a great time out there. And I stopped by St. Boniface after we had stopped at Poor Man's. I rode around a corner. It was like a couple miles away. I'm like, oh crap, I want to go there too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be drinking a Pravda, and that is an American lager from St. Boniface in Ephrata. Dave, what do you got on tap?
Well, I have a salted caramel cider from Lancaster County.
Okay.
Show this up
Sounds
here.
good.
Yeah,
There it
our
is.
camera's a little farther away than your
Yeah.
guys's.
I could take a trolley over to it, but anyway, it's I'm going to try that. It's trying it. I don't remember where I got it. It's either in Pittsburgh or I got it downtown. But I think I did get it in Pittsburgh.
Kevin, Ozzy, what do you guys got on tap over there?
Go ahead.
Down there.
Down there.
I got a New Belgian version. It's a lime light, so not too
Well,
bad.
at least you didn't hold up a Coors Light.
No.
I got a Fat Tire, the Amber Ale.
The Amber Ale, that's a good. I like that Fat Tire Amber Ale. That's a pretty good beer.
They do good work.
So, gentlemen, Chad, Matt, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Let's all cheers to our
Cheers
first
to you guys.
tasting
Thank you.
tonight. So,
Cheers.
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 It's
Thank
funny,
you very
Brett.
much.
All the content that we've done so far, we keep mentioning this, but we haven't really crossed, east side of the Susquehanna River yet.
We
Really,
haven't.
and there's you ride your bike over there or whatever, and there's just endless amounts.
Yeah.
Poor Man's has been all over the news with their victory in the March Madness tour and all their recent success, and there's tons of stuff over there. And we just
Yeah, and Chad and Matt cover the freaking state.
yeah.
Hey, it takes a
We
lot.
travel
It
well.
takes a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like Ben said, I mean, we just kind of started this venture pretty much the beginning of the year, and once we got comfortable, we wanted to start bringing guests on, and we haven't yet crossed out of York County, basically.
Oh yeah. What's your favorite breweries in the area then?
A little bit of Adams, go ahead.
I kind of like everything.
Yeah.
Our next episode up is Mudhook out of York,
Nice.
which is York's oldest craft brew house by 8 months. They were 8 months ahead of Liquid Hero.
Nice.
So that episode we're getting released on Saturday, and Jeff, it's a very good venue. They make some really pretty good beers. They don't distribute, so if you want it, they sell it in crowlers. And oddly enough, he has a mason jar now. So because they don't have a canning line, so he'll sell it to you in a mason jar.
In a mason jar. That's old school craft beer.
That
right
is.
there.
But we haven't had a bad experience. What's great about this, and you guys probably know this better than we do, is just the camaraderie and you get to meet these people. You guys have that meet the brewer thing on there.
Yeah.
Truthfully, guys, I don't know how you guys get time to do all this shit. I really don't.
We don't
And
either, to be honest with you.
Don't
We
you guys
either.
both have full-time jobs too?
Yeah.
Not sleeping
Chad's
and not
got two
having a life
kids.
really helps.
I guess you don't want to be drinking too much beer because that does make you sleepy. At least it does me.
Well, they
I'm
tell
getting
you to
old.
write drunk and edit sober, right? So that's what we go with a lot.
There you go. That's a good
That
motto.
works.
But
Or the
yeah,
other way
so
around, right?
I will tell you, one of our best episodes was up at Fat Bat in Hanover.
Okay.
We went there chasing that. It was a female-owned brewery,
Mhm.
and that was the storyline that we were chasing. But Dave, it came out. It was way much deeper than that. Now, unfortunately, Kevin wasn't with us. He was traveling. So it was Ben, Dave, and I. And that story, it's a female-owned. Her husband is in the business. The daughter's in the business. The brother is the brewer.
Okay.
And the Czech Pilsner that he gave us, was that our first tasting? His Czech Pilsner?
Yeah, it was. I
I think it
remember
was.
her story about
Cancer survivor, giving back to the community. It was a phenomenal. I mean, I was like speechless, and it's kind of hard for me to get speechless.
It sure is.
I will, yeah. I will tell you, if you want a Czech Pilsner that is worthwhile,
Mhm.
I think that was one of the best ones I've ever had. Poor Man's puts out a pretty good one too, but the one from Fat Bat, wow. I think we all enjoyed that one.
it's good to see a revival of that style, or the lager style in general, because for the longest time, depending on how long you've been drinking craft beer, that wasn't always the case. So to hear stories like that, where you go in and the most impressive beer you had is a Pilsner or a lager or whatever it may be, is just so cool to hear that style is just coming back.
And behind Dave on my little board, I do got a Year of the Lager sticker that I got from you guys too. So.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, I was going to say, we're obviously fighting the good fight ourselves when it comes to the lager scene, but outside of that, obviously, it's true. You see breweries. I mean, Trogs, to that point, they have what's that? Lager love,
Long
or
live lager.
love of
Long live
lager.
He was giving me shit for it the other day.
We should.
He's like, "What are you going to do after this year's over? Year of the lager is going to end in January. What are you going to do?" I was like, "Oh, we're just going to steal Long Live Lager." You didn't trademark it, did you?
So yeah, you guys put out a lot of content. Where do you guys get the information?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the beauty of our growth, if you will, because at first, when we first started, it was just scrapping by, and still to that point, it still happens to this day, but not as much anymore,
reviews,
because
it wasn't
as
really
we've
news,
grown,
beer reviews.
Well, yeah, that's how it started, right? But as far as like the actual content where we're at today, it's we've grown so large that people will bring it to us, or we have so many relationships developed that it just kind of almost happens organically. I would say 85% of our content at this point is just literally organic conversations, organic, relationships, whatever they may be. It's not, no, we're still obviously scrolling the web and figuring out what's out there and pounding the pavement by any means. But the beauty of developing so many great relationships, to your point, there's so many great people in this industry developing those relationships. It helps on the content side.
Yeah.
We'll get a text, we'll get an email, we'll get a DM. I think Chad and I both have a list of things on our phone at any point in time that we're trying to cross off and get to, in between our jobs and lives. So it's a never ending list, you know what I mean? Like of things that we're just finding. We're like, all right, that's more timely. Let's get that out real quick. And, if something's releasing, in 2 days, we'll write that first or something. There's no rhyme or reason.
Like I said, when we started this, Ben, we always brought in some kind of news, and Ben and I both are always on your Facebook page. It blows up.
As long as it's the page, not the group.
Yeah, right.
The group is,
that's where
it's a mess.
That's where it really started for us, is the fact that there really wasn't a lot of stuff out there, right? Content wise, you would have to go to several different sites, and not to say we're the stop all by any means, but there wasn't anything where it just felt like you could get it more centralized. So, it was born out of that. I mean, Matt and I enjoy craft beer ourselves. That's at the end of the day what it comes down to. Like, it's not like we're two people outside of the craft beer love that just decided to capitalize on an exciting industry. This is something we genuinely care about. We genuinely appreciate. Heck, I wouldn't be away from my family as much as I am if I didn't have some sort of love for this.
Yeah, we're at almost 8 years now. So
8 years. Wow.
Almost 8. I think we're
years. So
a little over 7 right now. Yeah. So it's been building.
Guys, we're all rookies. We're only 2 years into this.
So the lack of content and the passion is what really drove the decision to get breweries in PA off the ground.
Yeah. I mean, we started with beer reviews, and it really, it really morphed into news, right? It's just we couldn't find a lot of things, so we started writing about it out of just a pure passion, and people responded very well to that. So, and just Chad said, as we made the relationships, people are happy to tell us things. They want us to announce things, and then we dipped our toes into the event space, right, Chad? And running our own things.
Speaking of, you guys got a big event coming up, and is it the first one this weekend?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's a series of events. The Homebrew Invitational. So to Matt's point, we got into events about 4 or 5 years ago now. And it was a good space to be in. This was before, and it was only 4 or 5 years, so I say this, but like it was before beer was widely distributed, right? Like shipping in the state was a twinkle in everyone's eye. So the idea was, let's get beer, from different parts of the state to other areas of the state to see what everyone's doing. And then we realized there was this large homebrew contingency that we weren't really touching and really weren't being a part of. And so the idea of the homebrew invitational came about. We figured if we're going to do this, we got to put the breweries in PA spin on it. And we could just host a homebrew competition for homebrew competition's sake, but what fun would that be without the breweries in PA spin on it? So what we decided to do is, hey, let's go ahead and crown the best homebrewer in PA. How do you do that, though, right? When everyone lives so far apart. This is a large state at the end of the day. To go from Philly to Erie takes 6 hours, 6+, I think. So how do you do that, right?
Longer if you're stopping at all the great craft brew houses.
Exactly.
It took us over 7, Jed.
We figured we'd break up the state into 5 essentially quadrants, right? The 4 corners and central PA. And we would just do regional competitions. And then what we would do is take the best from those regional competitions and get them all together to compete to find who the overall champion is. So that's what we're pretty much dominating our time this summer. We're going to host 6 events in total, the 5 regional events plus the championship. And then that first regional event is this Saturday at Free Will Brewing in the Philadelphia suburbs.
Wow. Do you have the belt with you, Chad? Do you have the belt next to you?
I don't. It's packed away for Saturday.
I tell you what, I think that's pretty cool. You guys actually do a championship belt like wrestling or boxing.
Yeah, that's badass.
It's
fun. Great too. It gives off like like an American Idol vibe or something, you know, because there's so many of these
showmanship at the end of the day, right? You could just announce the winner and say, hey, this is the winner, and you know, everyone go visit them or everyone give them applause. Of course, that's what we want. But we want it to be a little bit more like showy or flashy. I'm in plans. It's probably going to be a big undertaking, but I'm in plans of actually redoing the March Madness belt. It's a really good belt. I like it. Don't get me wrong. But I want to kind of like put it on steroids, if you will, and like find like the WWE's belt maker and say, hey, make me something like comparable to what you give your champions.
You know what would be cool, Chad?
Well, that's
you
awesome.
do kind of like a Stanley Cup.
So that's kind of how the
talked
belt
about that,
and you put the breweries.
That's kind of how the belt came about, and we've talked about potentially doing something like that because the belt we have, you can interchange the plates on them. So I did a little bit of that this year, not to the certain extent I wanted to. I just put on new plates that said it was the 2022 champion, so at least it was personalized to the winner of this year. But yes, one thing we've thought about is how can we get like a running list of the winners' names on there?
Yeah,
beer mugs.
That's who did you order that from, by any chance? You know,
Undisputed Belts is who we ordered.
Undisputed. Okay, I think there's a big one called Belts by Dan or something like that does a lot of the WWE stuff.
I'll have to check that out because I definitely want to get something that's like when you hold it, you can tell like, okay, this thing is.
It's not an Amazon cheapy order.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to Poor Man's, the belt is very nice. I love it. Don't get me wrong. The homebrew belt is it's not cheap either, so trust me. Yes. But I definitely want to I want to get something a little like gaudy, if you will.
Yeah. And every past winner wants their own. So we had to order Warwick one. Levity now wants 2, Chad. And we might as well just ask Trogs if they want one for themselves. But
that sounds like a GoFundMe account, Matt.
Yeah, right.
I told them here's what the costs are. We can help you order it. They're not
there we go, hey, you could say we promoted you guys for what, a whole month, and got you a lot of activities. So.
Oh yeah.
I know after Poor Man's one, I did a motorcycle ride, did a covered bridge ride in Lancaster. And I told my motorcycle chapter, I was like, if nobody plans to ride, I'm going to plan to ride. But guess what? It's going to be around a craft brew house. So if you don't like it, plan your own. But we stopped at Poor Man's right before your beer share because I knew I wasn't going to make the beer share that Sunday. And I walked in there. The beer's great. It's a small joint.
It is.
And I'm looking around.
We're working on it.
I'm like, how are these two guys? How is Matt and Chad going to be able to host a beer share in this small joint? But you guys pulled it off, man.
We did. We learned. Yeah, we learned our lesson real quick during one of our first ones where we the way we do all of our beer shares now is we make it a ticketed event. The ticket is free, so we're not charging you to attend by any means. But by giving away tickets, it at least allows us to control the population. And trust me, when we were talking to Poor Man's, they were very adamant on the number of tickets, because they're like, we don't have a ton of space, and the last thing we want to do is start turning people away. And I'm like, yep, agree 100%. Don't want to. So it was, I don't want to say exclusive by any means, but yes, we made sure to pack it, but not too tight.
Yeah. Tony,
I think it was,
go ahead, Ben.
I think it was Sean or Nick from Portland, PA, that they told us at one of your events, maybe in Pittsburgh or something, that the owners came to you and was like, there's too many people here.
I was actually Pittsburgh invades Philly. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
It was our first event ever, actually.
That's when we learned real quick to make them ticketed, because the GM came up to me and was like, hey, we've exceeded our occupancy limit by 75. If you don't start removing people, we're in trouble.
And we both,
it was a very awkward
not our
conversation,
problem.
because I'm like,
not our problem.
I don't know if I can kick out people that
not our problem.
Here. It was so we learned from that day on, okay, we're going to go ahead and not make it a free for all anymore.
Yeah, I was camping on Memorial Day.
I don't know if you guys saw that in April.
Yeah.
So
you guys had a packed house there.
That was sold out. Yeah, we sold both sessions out. And we're currently planning Pittsburgh invades Philly, so stay tuned for that.
Is there a date for that yet, or no?
We're aiming for October, November, so we'll get back to the date.
Yeah. But I was going to say, I went camping over Memorial Day up here in Dover. And like I said, I ran out of beer, but I needed to get back Saturday night because the campground did a craft beer share night. I was like, okay, so I came home and I grabbed a bunch more beers, because are these campers going to be bringing Coors Light, Busch Light, and that kind of stuff too?
Yeah.
You can't have that.
Lo and behold, no. There was 30 different craft beers on that table.
Wow.
I was impressed. I was really impressed.
Good people.
I talked to
you were prepared.
I was talking to campground owner. So, we don't know shit about craft beer. I'm like, I can help you. I mean, I'll kind of guide people. What do you like? And I'll tell them what to try to drink. A lot of them I didn't have, but I had a good time. But I said, if you need more, I got more in my cooler. I just refilled.
There you go.
Shares are probably the best thing we do. Like I said, they're free to attend. It's all about the people, but it's the camaraderie, it's the community. But what I always like to say about them is they're essentially free beer fests as well. You look at these shares and you look around, and there's 100+ different beers to try, and it costs nobody any money to get in, and they're all just pouring back 3-4 ounce samples, no different than you would at a beer fest. So
people bring hard to find things, right? I mean, it's and
it's everyone. It's the best of the best, right?
The brewery opens, they have all these people now in their tap room, so they're pretty excited about it.
I tell you what you guys have done for the craft beer industry in Pennsylvania, you guys have promoted the shit out of this. And
we appreciate it. Thank you.
Kudos to you guys. And that's kind of when we started this venture. Ben and I think I turned Ben onto this, to your Facebook page, because where are you getting this info? I said Brewers in PA. So he was like, oh shit. As soon as he turned it on me, he was all about it.
I think the Homebrew Invitational is its own beast, though, because so many of these stories that we've heard, it's like, oh, how'd you get into this? Oh, my wife brought me a homebrewing kit or whatever, and who knows how many of those people are out there brewing their own beer, making great stuff, and not getting the shine. So this invitational, that's an awesome opportunity for so many.
That's what we're hoping out of it. I mean, at the end of the day, it is all about bragging rights, right? Somebody's going to have this championship belt and be able to lord it over the entire state. But
I can see that person walking into every bar.
Oh my god,
every craft house with that belt draped around.
Got their own entrance music. But at the same time, we're hoping to give people a platform to eventually, hopefully, go pro, right? I've said this to people, but my perfect world with this Homebrew Invitational is that belt is one day sitting in a tap room because somebody, whoever won it, got the courage, the fortitude, whatever you want to call it, to decide, hey, my beer's obviously done pretty well, because let's face it, they've won a regional event. Now they've won a statewide event. So they clearly are It's more than
Very
just
good.
a couple people in my neighborhood said my beer is good. Professional judges, because that's who's judging the beer at the end of the day, is highly ranked professional.
Also, okay, so
BJCP
it's not
judges.
just going to be somebody out from off the street. It's going. You guys
No,
are
no,
actually
it's-
having judges.
It's not me and
It's
Chad
an
trying them
official-
all.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna be trying them, but don't
Definitely
judge
not.
me.
We'll be trying them, but not rating them.
Hey, Brett, show them the wall where we're going to hang that belt at.
Oh, dude. So we are home brewers. My wife got me a homebrew kit a year and a half ago.
There you go.
There you go.
But we're still very novice and we're kit brewers. So if it don't come in a box, we haven't brewed it yet.
That's all right. Hey, one of my buddies is the same way, and he's actually entered the competition. So we'll see. He feels pretty confident in himself, and I like the confidence as well.
Well, I just secondaried the Imperial Nut Brown, and I did a tasting of it. I mean, it's a brewer's best kit, and it's definitely if it finally ferments, it's not down to the FG, the final gravity I need, but that's gonna be a pretty good beer. It might be one of our better ones. And guess what? I didn't fuck it up without my brew crew.
As long as you don't fuck it up, that's all that matters.
You guys
Only
get into
rule,
any home
don't
brewing,
fuck it
or
up.
you guys get into any home brewing, or are you busy on the content
I
creation
did
side?
I did a Mr. Beer kit like 2014, I want to say 2013, 2014. I just realized I did not have the patience for it. I just I screwed it up pretty bad. It did not taste very good at all. And I was like, why am I doing this? And I just haven't done it since.
I think
I
Liquid
went and
Hero.
got a kit. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Matt. No, go
I was
ahead.
just gonna say
Matt.
I
Fill
just
it
got a
in.
kit with my buddy from Keystone Homebrew out here. What was it like 4 years ago? And we messed it up. So
Yeah.
I think just us doing collabs with breweries on a massive brewing scale, right? It's just shown me like there's just so much that goes into it, and you really have to. I think we rushed part of it. So
Well, and we did. So Dave and Kevin and I, we brewed the first batch, and that my wife got me, and it was a stout. And I tell you what, after 9 months in that bottle, I'd have put that against Guinness. It come out really
All
good.
right.
It's pretty good.
And then
So
we did what? We did a
you're
salted.
confident.
We did a salted caramel porter.
Yeah.
Shots
I think-
fired, Guinness.
Yeah, that was a shot fired at Guinness, and it was out of a kit. But the last two I brewed without these guys. One was it was a Kolsch kit, and I tried to put a little bit of raspberry to it, but I think I cooked the yeast because it got too hot. I got a band to keep it at a stable temperature, and it cooked it. And I talked to Tim March from Stony Run, so he was part of your collab.
Mhm.
Yep.
And we were going to try and get him on with you guys too, but we're still kind of dabbing our toes in this water of live feed, so we'll just let's just keep it at one. But I talked to him, and he said if it don't taste like Band-Aids, go ahead and let it finish and then bottle it. So we had him on. He was our first guest on this show, and I gave it to him to try. We did it on the show, and he said, "Well, it ain't a Kolsch."
Oh god.
It's
Not a
drinkable.
Kolsch.
It's not a Kolsch. It's very dark, and all it is raspberry. It's basically a raspberry beer. Now I did take that up to that campground beer share, and everybody has. Oh, I love that. I'm like, well, guess what? I fucked it up.
I would have
Well, you
told.
don't tell them it's a
I
cold.
would have never
Don't
told.
tell them that.
But they said I love
what I
it.
wanted.
I love raspberry, but I got another Kolsch kit. I got more raspberry, so we're going to try this again. But Kevin's got a saison kit we're going to do. But I did the nut brown ale because I think brown ales are starting to. I think next year, instead of you're the lager, you're the ale.
You're the ale?
Brown ale.
Okay.
Oh, red ale, brown ale. I tell you what, the Irish Reds and the Browns are becoming some of my favorite sought after beers. I love
I
the
love a good brown
nuttiness
ale.
and the earthness of a brown ale, and the dryness and that crisp maltiness of a red ale. They're just some of my favorite beers. And I'm a stout porter guy, but those ales are becoming pretty sought after for me.
Yeah. You're the ale it is.
Oh, hey, can we coin that?
Start it now. Start it now.
Chad, I told Ryan we had something that we were working on at Warwick that we were working on for next year for lagers, and He's wondering what it is, so we have to figure it out. I totally lied to him. But
And technically, a
I was gonna
lager
say
is an ale.
That's news to me. So
yeah, I said we're working on something else for next year. Don't you worry about it.
Hey, Kevin, you and Ozzy have been kind of quiet. Are you guys talking, or you just talking amongst yourselves?
No, we're listening.
Are you figuring out your golf strategy tomorrow?
That's exactly it. My excuses that I'm going to be making.
You said you're going to be naked.
Well, naked. You don't play golf naked?
No, I don't play golf. You don't want to play golf.
I think I'm on the wrong podcast.
Hey,
wrong
guys,
podcast.
I didn't tell you what to expect. I just said, we're going to drink some beer, have some fun. I didn't tell you what we're going to expect. So,
hey, those are usually the best conversations. If this needs to turn to golf talk, I'll spend hours talking about.
Oh,
that.
there you go, Kev. You found a buddy, and Dave, you found a buddy.
Yeah.
You don't want me on the golf course. No.
No.
Oh, okay.
Don't do that.
Kev, you got anything you want to talk to these guys about? Any questions?
No, actually, the ones that I was going to ask, I think you guys already touched on. Unfortunately, we just appreciate everything. Like everybody's been saying, it's a lot of help, and it's great to get that word out.
That's the goal, right? At the end of the day, is just to bring the community together, because it's a big state, but you realize how small it is when you actually start talking to the communities themselves.
Right.
And you guys went out to Minnesota to the big conference.
Yeah, CPC Craft Brewers Conference. We've been going.
Quite cold.
We took a break during COVID, but very cold. We've been going since 2018, I think it is. But we took a break for COVID, and then it came back. Sucked that it was Minnesota. The worst part was the year in COVID, it was supposed to be in San Diego. And then
that sucks.
I was looking forward to taking a week vacation for that.
We had plans to go out there for a full week before the conference, spend enjoy the time, but then it got canceled. It's making its way back to the Midwest again, and then it'll be in Philly in 2026. So we're really excited about that.
That'd be cool.
It's
CPP
Nashville
might
next
have
year.
to.
Nashville, Indy, and then Vegas at some point.
Nashville, Indy, Vegas, and then Philly.
2025.
Vegas can be dangerous.
Yeah, Vegas will be dangerous. But Philly, the Philly part we're really excited for, because we figure that's 3 years from now, 4 years from now, I guess. We'll hopefully, knock on wood, have grown even more by then, so we can really welcome the country to Pennsylvania beer, not just Philadelphia beer, but Pennsylvania beer. So we're really trying to treat that. We're going to try to treat that weekend as truly putting Pennsylvania beer on the map, as far as having so many craft beer aficionados, lovers, etc., all in the same area in Pennsylvania, right?
And you guys put out a stat, and I think we used it on our episode. And we just recorded an episode with Jem's Farm, which was also part of your Adapt and Overcome.
Yep, they provide
great episode. Michael and Sharon were awesome, and we even brought their daughter in on the last, and she was kind of bashful, but I think she opened up. I think they all did. Where the hell was I going with that? I have no idea.
Well, you were talking about that. You were talking about the stats, and
you guys.
The number
mentioned
of
that
breweries.
Back in 2011, there was only like 80 breweries, craft houses, and now it's over 400.
88.
Oh, you saw the graph. The graph,
yeah. And now we're over 488, and it's grown literally every year. I mean, from 88 11 years ago to 488 this year. Number 2 in production, number 2 in total breweries.
It's amazing.
List, you'll see, of all the breweries that we're tracking to open. I think there's 50 on there, Chad, but we find at least another 1 or 2 a week. So
it's great. We just and actually Michael and Sharon put out the word to 2 people they knew, which I knew of, Back Porch up in Carlisle and Bird's Nest. Mm-hmm. Back Porch is getting ready to open their own facility. They've been brewing, and I guess some of the places up there have been serving it for them, but now they're going to be able to open theirs. So we reached out to them, and they're going to be one of our guests coming up as well. So we're looking forward to that.
Awesome.
Number 2, anybody on point number 2? Right here, we got South
I've already got 2 in me.
South County Crafted Lager. You'll see this on our.
All right, no wait, Matt and Chad, you guys keep pulling up your Adapt and Overcome. So instead of a full case, you're giving out a partial case, right?
Yeah, right. Trust me, that case has been in my house for about 2 weeks now, and it's stared at me every day I've been awake. and walked past it, and it's a
wow.
miracle I'm giving it away. Like
Yeah.
at this point, I'm surprised I haven't drank it all. Like
Kev, Dave, and I are not IPA. We were not IPA fans when we started this venture. I will say I am an all types of beer palate. But that Adapt and Overcome that we sampled with Gems Farm, we did it on that episode, which will release the end of June, right? Or in a couple weeks. That was very juicy, very little citrusy,
Great palate.
very little hoppiness to it. It was phenomenal.
Very
it was
good.
like
Did you guys
drinking
see-
orange juice.
Did you guys see our trip the week before the release? The 13-hour
Yes.
Trekking all over the
600-mile
state.
round trip.
Yeah,
That's
you
phenomenal.
showed a picture of the van loaded up to drop the stuff off.
yeah, there's a reason
one day.
these projects. There's
You
a
did
reason
it
these
in one
projects
day?
don't happen a lot.
One day,
Because one day, one Sunday we did all that. But yeah, the reason these projects don't have, like, you would think, like, why doesn't another company just do this? It's not that hard. It's because to do that, like, we had to take time out of our schedules. We had to take money out of our bank account to get the infrastructure to do that. Like, without doing that, the state doesn't have that beer because it's very difficult. People don't understand how difficult it is to get 20 plus breweries to uniformly release a beer. They see it happen and they're just like, oh, that's exciting, right?
Yeah.
But like the physical toll it takes to make that happen is very difficult. So we're very proud of that beer.
And you guys have
We
done
went out
that
to
how many years
Johnstown.
now? Yeah. How many years in a row you've done it?
This is our third year. Same thing.
Third
That
year.
started in 2019. Took a break for COVID. Then we released it last year and now this year. So this was the first year it was released in cans. Every other year before that was just
Draft.
draft.
Yeah, I think
And
Tim
Chad,
March
and
said he
we
brewed
went
his
to a
own
bunch
batch.
of breweries.
What's that?
Sorry, go ahead. I was
No,
gonna
go
say we
ahead,
went
man.
around that Friday and bought a bunch of pints for everybody too. Chad, what did we hit? 4 breweries? Ephrata to Phoenixville to 4 brewery. Yeah.
Started at Black Forest and worked our way to Montgomery County.
Wow. And
So
how
you
did
guys are
Keystone Mills?
both out towards Montgomery County, right?
We're both in Montgomery County, just outside of Philadelphia.
So, Dave, any questions you got?
No, I was just taken back. I took my wife's car down to Royal Farms, and I got robbed. But anyway,
Oh gosh!
At the gas pump.
At the gas pump.
Oh, okay. I was going to say this.
No, not by gunpoint, by gas hose point, and
point.
yeah, and I couldn't believe it when I saw it. So, and I thought of you guys when you said you travel a lot. You travel all over the state.
Yeah.
I mean, and I just can't imagine it. What you guys are going through with the she doesn't drive that much. And I can't imagine going to the gas pump as much as you guys do. So
the advertising money we
people
make
don't think
goes
about.
towards travel. That's basically what it goes towards, right? And staying overnight at places, things like that too. So just goes right back into the company.
How did Keystone Military Families get affiliated with the Adapt and Overcome? Have they been the sponsor the whole time, or?
No. So the way we do it is everything that we do is done democratically in the sense that, no one person is making a decision. At the end of the day, it's 22 or 23 businesses involved, 20 breweries, and then obviously, the hop providers, the malt providers, et cetera. And so it's all done through, it's not a very exciting process, but it's all done through essentially Google Sheets and a whole bunch of emails. But we vote on everything. That's what it comes down to, and majority rules, because the way we figure it is all these businesses are involved. We shouldn't have one person saying, it's not like Breweries in PA is dictating what happens and what have you. So pretty much what ends up happening is anyone who wants to nominate a charity from the group can do so. And then we put that in a list and everyone decides who we're gonna give it to. And usually the charities are typically a mix of like Pennsylvania military charities, and then of course the national charities, right? Like
Now keep
your
it
Wounded
local.
Warriors and what have you. But every year the Pennsylvania one always wins out because it's like, well, if we're gonna focus on Pennsylvania local breweries and ingredient providers like Gems and the other ingredient providers, why not keep the charity local as well? And so Keystone Military Families was nominated by Willow Creek Brewing out in Reading. And they were the overwhelming winner. I think they got somewhere north of like 80% of the vote on that's who we should donate to. And the more, and I had never heard of them and we had never heard of them before. So we did our research, and the more we researched them, the better we were like, or the more we were like, yeah, this is where the money should go. They're local, and they do just so much
great
good
organization.
for veteran communities.
Yeah. So, Kevin's a veteran, so am I. So we really appreciate that.
Thank you for serving, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
We definitely appreciate that, and I think you guys made the right choice keeping it in Pennsylvania, because you guys are all about Pennsylvania, and unfortunately we're kind of centralized. We're focusing on the 5 counties in this area, and like Ben said, we haven't even gotten across the river yet.
For now, it's only getting bigger, so it's
wait till more breweries open while you're trying to get across the river.
So when I had this stupid idea, and I talked to Dave and Kevin about around a fire pit one night drinking beer, and Ben, as soon as we mentioned to Ben, Ben's like, his ears perked up, his eyes were lit. He's like, hell yeah, I'm in. And I went to DJ's Beverage, because that's where I get a lot of my beer. Mm-hmm. And he's like, why do you want to just keep it local? I'm like, there's a lot of breweries here. Well, after we started this venture of this podcast thing, I understand why. Availability is not always there, because these brewer houses don't always distribute. You either got to go drive it to get it, or you deal with what they can get you at the brewery, at the distributors. So
it's also more manageable, right?
If
you did the whole country, it'd be so hard to talk to.
There's no way.
Like, people focused on what you're talking about, right?
First off, I'd be divorced. Kudos to your guys. Are you both married?
I am, yes.
So
married my cousin.
So that's how you guys know each other.
Yes.
Kissing cousins. But my wife puts up with a lot. And so guys, I appreciate you guys. We do, Ben, we have some upcoming guests, and we kind of touched on some of our recent releases.
Yeah. We have Mudhook Brewing Company out of York coming out this weekend. We just recorded with Gems Farm Hops out of Carlisle. That'll come out in a few weeks there. And honestly, we have been very, very grateful, and that anybody that we've reached out to has been more than willing to either host us or
come to us,
StreamYard with us, or come to the Homebrew Works studio we got in Brett's basement there. So we've reached out to several. We've had a lot of discussions around with people in the area, but we'll keep you posted on all the guests we got lined up. But it's just great people in the community. Everybody's more than willing to open their doors, share their information, share their stories with us. It's phenomenal, all the different stories we've heard so far along this journey, and you guys included. I mean, it's honestly inspirational. Growing up in the age of social media, anybody with passion and drive can just create something phenomenal like what you guys have done. So
the tools are out there, right? It's
for sure.
It's really what you want to put into it. That's what we feel about this site. Is literally, people ask us all the time, or not ask us, but they always say like, oh, we assume there's like 10, 15 people running breweries in PA. And when they find out it's just the 2 of us, they typically don't believe us.
And that's what's phenomenal, is you guys put all this time and effort. Plus you hold down a family, and you hold down a full-time job. I'm finding it hard just to do this little shindig that we've put together.
It's tough. It's tough, but at the end of the day, it's passion is what drives almost everything in this world, right? So it's all about keeping at it.
Yeah. You guys got any beer festivals that you know of coming up? I know you guys cover the state. We got a couple mentioned here for the central area.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know Bonifest. What is happening this weekend? King of Prussia Beer Fest is happening in a couple of months. I think the fall that's like one of the bigger ones out there. What we're starting to see, which I think is exciting, is breweries are hosting the beer fest, right?
Yeah.
Like I know Warwick Farm out by us does a lot. Pittsburgh is starting to do more of them. I know the Guild does their own fest, and I always tell breweries that actually. I was talking to the team at Englewood not too long ago, which are not too far from you guys in Central PA.
They're the ones hosting the next one of the homebrew competitions, right?
Yep. So we were talking about them about hosting the homebrew event, and they were just kind of picking my ear about like, hey, we're thinking about hosting our own beer festival. And I always tell breweries like it's a smart idea. I mean, A, it's a revenue generator. Don't get me wrong. But B, thankfully for how the laws are set up in PA, they can serve other breweries beer, on draft available for people to enjoy. So I always say to breweries, like, you should be doing these. Like, it is a smart revenue stream, but it's also a good way to get people excited to come to your brewery. Like I know 10-7 by us, which is in Montgomery County as well. Tomorrow, they're not necessarily doing a beer fest, but they're putting 6 or 7 different breweries, some that are out by you guys, some that are local to us, all on tap at the brewery for people to have like tap takeover style. So
nice.
I think it's smart that breweries are doing that because it's giving more people a reason to get inside their doors.
Yeah, and you're South County. That was a huge you guys did a lot to promote that and the build up of that. I actually visited that place actually Mother's Day.
How have you been?
Oh, it's a freaking gorgeous facility. It's a destination. Beautiful. So speaking of what you were just talking about, we need to get with those guys to have their own. I mean, it's a beautiful. They have the
space for it, that's for sure.
Plus, they got a lot. They got a lot of bills to pay with that building.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh my gosh. We were thankful. We were thankful enough to be invited to the. It wasn't really a soft opening. It was like a media preview type thing, and you could tell that no expense was spared there, and it went right up on our destination list of breweries that we keep on our website.
And Warwick Farms was another one you guys promoted when they were rebuilding theirs. That's another destination.
I had actually met Warwick when they were home brewing. Like they had the facility picked out, but they really weren't brewing that much on a commercial level. I had met them. We were talking, and they had told me about their vision for this, 23-acre brewery in Bucks County. And then fast forward a few years later, and it was exactly as they described me many years before that. So to see them execute on a vision that they had been sitting on for years is really exciting, and to see it come to fruition and the community responds so well to it has been nothing short of impressive.
Now, do you guys know anything about the Homebrew Con out in Pittsburgh at the end of the month?
So I just had a conversation with their executive director a week ago. I guess they saw the homebrew invitational and pretty much were like, what the hell's going on here? Not in a bad way, don't get me wrong, not in a bad way, but it was definitely like what's this? So she reached out and we spoke. Ironically enough, we were looking to have our homebrew invitational in Pittsburgh that same weekend. We had that weekend reserved. We had that weekend reserved. We knew we wanted to do it. It just worked out perfectly because all these events have to happen simultaneously so we can properly execute the championship. If one of the events doesn't, then the championship gets screwed up. So we had it all planned. The brewery was like, yep, we're good to go. And somebody from the brewery was just like, well, Homebrew Con is that same day, right? And I was like, no,
Malcolm.
I didn't. That's probably a problem. So essentially we swapped out that weekend for another one, so we're doing our Wall & Palm Pack event is that weekend. We figure let's get it as far away as possible so there's no issues. But anyway, so I had talked with her and explained to her kind of what our organization does, and they kind of want to partner up on.
Oh, that's cool.
Things. Yeah, she said she
wants something bad turned out might be something great.
Yeah. The conversation was good. Don't get me wrong. Like at first she was like, "So do you guys not know about us?" That's how she started it out, and I was like,
"We know the Brewers Association."
Yeah.
And you should have said, "What you don't know about us?"
Yeah. Right. What do you mean?
Damn.
But she's actually going to. She said next year she's gonna, if we'd like to have her, which I would. She's willing to speak at our championship of our homebrew invitational for 2023. So she wants to build a partnership between our two organizations.
Oh, that's great. So that's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I know Saturday the York North Rotary Club's having a Summerfest down here at the York Revolution Ballpark. It's a craft beer, wine, and spirits, food trucks and stuff, and they're bands. I'm going to try and get out there. I don't know if I will or not. I got a lot to do because I throw a huge 4th of July party,
nice.
and that's only a couple weeks away. And
yeah, it's not too long away.
no, and I got to get my garage cleaned out. It's still piled up with stuff that I moved out to make.
Out.
No, the fireworks aren't taking up much room. They only take about 20 feet up. But everything I moved out of this room to make the homebrew room is in my garage. I got to kind of find a way to get rid of it. Dave, there's some other things on there, isn't it?
Yeah, we got a couple other things on here. The Endless Summer Sips, L's on the Rails with Brewery Tour. This is on Saturday, June the 19th. So that's coming up soon around the corner here.
And I'll tell you, if you've
Father's Day one,
that's something. That's the Father's Day one. Chad and Matt, I did one with Brewery Tours, Glenn Smith. It was the Sips and Shenanigans on the Northern York. Awesome time. He does a great job with that, man. I mean, you get on the train and it's 10 beers. I left there with a buzz.
Nice.
10 beers.
There you go. On a train,
I mean, you're getting small samples, like 4 or 5 ounce pours, but they do a great job. And just the scenery on the train is pretty cool. But yeah, that's something that should be. You guys might want to hook up with him.
Yeah, we've talked to him. We've talked to him a couple times. He's actually advertised with us a few times. We actually have him listed. We have him listed on our beer trail section for the state as well, because it's the traditional beer trails. And then he asked if we would put him on as well for what he does, and we said, of course we will. So he's on there as well. So
because he's promoting the Hanover area too. So. Yeah,
I saw that. I saw he's getting out of because it was York for a while, and now it's York and surrounding areas, which makes sense with all the growth in the area. You might as well take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else you got there, Dave?
You were talking about Hanover. It's Something Wicked Brewery in Hanover. They're doing the Spring Sips and Stroll Alley Party, and that's on the 17th of the month. So. They have a tag of 4 to 10 p.m. So you have a few hours to tie one on.
Right, good old time. There's a sip and stroll event in Chambersburg. I know at the end of July, which is really good. They host I think two events per year in Chambersburg. It's the downtown Chambersburg. I want to think it's downtown Chambersburg Alliance, but
Sam?
they just show off
Sam guy.
Yeah, Sam. And they just show off the Chambersburg area. Just it's a really walkable area. So that's essentially where the beer fest is held.
Yeah, and if you guys ever get down here to the York area, the downtown area, like Glenn, when we had Glenn on as a guest, it's basically he wanted to make it like a destination area. There is 1, 2, 3, 5 within walking distance of downtown York.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Right? So
anytime you can walk to breweries.
No, yeah, it's great, and he does those walking tours. It's pretty cool. Go ahead, Ben.
You incorporate that train, and he travels the whole way down to Maryland practically, and he's got all those separate ones popping up.
Yeah, so
there you go. Right,
New Freedom. There's some Alecraft, I think it was.
Yeah, Alecraft is coming.
Alecraft, they're coming to PA.
Yeah. And when I did that Sips and Shenanigans, they showed Glenn mentioned that, and I didn't even think anything of it because I've heard the name, but I didn't even think anything of it until you guys had posted it. They're coming to PA and New Freedom. I'm like, well, shit, I just saw their building when I did that Sips and Shenanigans train ride.
It's going to be beautiful. I talked with him and he says he really wants to make that like the destination. Like that's going to be not to overshadow what they're doing in Maryland, but that's going to be the place you want to go to if you want to enjoy ale craft beer.
Yeah.
Right,
so,
and it's a common theme, like just to piggyback off of the South County discussion. It's like People
Yeah, I
are
mean,
building.
that part
People
of
are
PA,
building
right?
these phenomenal things.
You have so much land that you can take advantage of and really
Yeah.
give people, like, because let's face it, it's no longer just the tap room, right? It's the outdoor space, it's the fire pit and the cornhole and the
Yeah.
and the
It's
you
a
know, whatever
family
you're playing.
environment. And
Yeah,
that's
right. You're making it a truly destination visit.
and we've talked about that with several of the guests. You know, when I grew up bar hopping, it was a bar. It was someplace
Yeah.
you didn't take your family. There
Yeah.
were some
Yeah.
places I visited I didn't want to take my other half.
Well, that's
And
that's the beauty. That's the beauty
now-
of what I think is happening in Pennsylvania. This is what I always try to tell people. Like, it pops up in our group all the time where it's like, oh, you shouldn't bring a kid to a brewery, blah blah blah. But like, people are creating places where you want to bring your kids, right? They are
yeah.
bringing places that you would bring a family or take your family to. It's not about a hole in the wall beer and shop type of place. Those places still exist and they're great. I love them. I grew up on them. I'm not going to, say
No.
anything bad about
No.
them, but it's these places that are becoming more than just the beer, right? It's getting a full meal. It's enjoying your time. Like, those are starting to pop up more and more frequently. So why not enjoy them? Why not celebrate them?
Yeah, was it Jeff Flau at Mudhook or was it up at Fat Bat that Sandy said that they are in the not just in the hospitality, they're in the entertainment and creation industry and building a relationship.
Yeah.
That and is having my own business, that's the mainstay of any business. You need to build a relationship. And if
Right.
you can
Well,
create
yeah.
an atmosphere where they leave happy, you've done your job.
Yeah, they want to come back.
Yeah.
You look at some of these other places like Broken Goblet, for example. Have you guys heard of that Broken Goblet in Bristol?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
essentially have a concert venue. There's a concert venue. So, I mean, they're booking comedians, they're booking, acoustic acts, I mean, metal bands. It's insane. And I mean, they're also a brewery, but they're also a giant concert venue. So it's things like that I think are bringing people out to more places instead of just, a tiny tap room with 10 taps. It's
Yeah.
You're getting more out of your visit.
And like I
sure.
said, with my motorcycle riding club, if I'm planning a ride and nobody has it, it's around a craft brew house that I haven't visited. I'm gonna ride there and I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna enjoy it. Have you guys talked to Nick or Nate or Sean and those guys from the Port and PA?
Yeah,
I mean,
We know Nate.
we know them
We
well.
know Nate very well. Oh yeah.
I think
We were in one of
I
the
think-
episodes.
Okay, so they did do you guys as an episode. I was gonna say I
Yeah.
haven't seen all
It's like
their
the-
episodes, but you guys need to
It's
be
very
hosting
early
one
on. Yeah, very early
It was
on.
it was like the 4th episode, I think. I can't remember. We were at
Yeah,
Mount
so I think-
Gretna.
Mount Gretna.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
interviewed us at
Yeah,
Mount
actually-
Gretna.
Kevin left the
Cool.
stream. He's probably getting ready for golf tomorrow with him and Ozzy. But Mount Gretna, he was at a golf outing, and Mount Gretna approached him like, "Hey, I've heard your show. We want to be on it." And we're like, "What?
Nice.
Central
Awesome.
PA Poor? You've heard of us?" I was totally shocked.
I see. So when we first started getting that too, it was more of a like, oh wow, cool, you know who we are. I'll have to explain it for the
Well, it
next
makes
20
what you-
minutes.
It makes what you do worth it, right? It's like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not just talking into the void.
Yeah.
Like right now, we're looking. We don't have a lot of viewers. We didn't have a lot of comments tonight. We're hoping people catch it, and we're hoping you guys help spread the word with us. But we're still dabbling our toes in this. We're wading into the shallows. We're hoping to grow this thing and not burn out because we're all having fun because we're making a lot of connections. We're meeting gentlemen like you guys, the camaraderie and the openness, like David mentioned before. When we go to these places and we talk to them and we say, "Hey, we'd like to feature you on this show," because it was a stupid idea that I had about doing a show about our beer tasting nights. We are making so many connections. I got people I can call that, Chad, you and I have been in contact a while. Glenn Smith, I called him on another matter that wasn't beer related. It was professional related. We made contact with a lot of people. And I think that's what's the most openness. And we have heard that story time and time again, like Ben had mentioned, when we talk to these people. Hey, I've had a problem, and I reach out, and all these other breweries or brewers come to my aid. You guys had put a story on there. It was actually the one up in Newville, Whiskers.
Oh yeah, Whiskers.
Was that you guys that put Whiskers?
Yeah,
My wife actually went to school with them. and I
Okay.
reached out to them. So I'm going to try and
Such
get
a
them
nice
on
guy
the show.
too.
And
I had just
you know,
interviewed him like 2 months before that too. Like,
yeah.
nice guy. Yeah.
And you know, the people that came to their rescue to help support them, it just, we've mentioned this, and we try not to beat the horse to death, but
Yeah.
it's a community, and it's growing and constantly growing with the passion that, you know, you two gentlemen have, the passion I think that we instill in this. I've grown down this path, and to me it's the yellow brick road.
Yeah. As long as
I
you're
mean, it's
having
a
fun doing what
passion-based
you're doing,
industry.
right?
Yeah.
Have fun doing it. That's all that matters, right? And
Yep.
it'll end up growing. And I think Chad and I, it's funny because like I'm like, oh, that new brewery just opened, and then I find out somebody we're friends with knows them, so I just text them real quick, and then next thing I know, I'm interviewing them the next day, and it's just everybody's connected somehow. So
Yeah.
you get in and you just work your way through the network, and yeah, I mean it's interesting to see who knows who, right?
Yeah,
But
and it's been great. Ben, anything last that you want to bring up?
No, I just thank you for your time, guys. It's been great to talk to you, and I'm going to continue to consume all that awesome content you're putting out, and it's just it's nice to have you on the show. We really appreciate it.
thanks
Yeah,
for
I
having
think
us.
I've been in
Appreciate
contact
it.
with Chad for about 2 months. Hey, I'd love to get meetups.
Hey, man.
And
Yeah, it's a
We
long,
tried to get
long
you a
time
poor
coming, for
man's,
sure.
right?
yeah, he tried to get me to
Tried to get
poor
you to poor
man's, and
man's.
I was like, I just can't do it. Ben said I can't do it, and actually
Everyone-
Tony from Banging Beers said, "Are you guys gonna make it there?" I'm like, "Nah, we can't make it there."
Yeah, because he
Uh,
came.
but-
I invited him over with his crew, and they came over and hung out with us. And
Got a bunch of milk
those
pours with
guys
them.
are awesome.
Yeah, you guys just
Guys are
posted
awesome.
something about a side pool thing going on, and said about don't
Yeah.
blame me for the milk pours, or let us know about the milk pours. So
Yeah, we that trend's been around for, I say trend, but like it's a design pour that's been around for, at this point, hundreds of years. It just so happened to start hitting PA recently, as of like a few months ago to maybe almost a year ago at this point. And so we had been actually talking about the not to get too down this road here, but like the faucet
pools.
that it gets poured
Yes.
out of. It's called a side pool pour. We had been talking about this for the last like 2 years now. But the milk pour thing didn't start happening until about a year ago. So, we started talking about it because I always say this. It's very
I had to
tough
look it up.
to find.
So I had to look it up. What the hell's a
Yeah,
milk
it's
pour?
very tough in craft beer to find something that someone's not doing, right? For the most part, craft beer is a several 100-year-old industry.
Yeah.
Innovation is not necessarily, not to say no one's innovating, but you know what I mean? Like when you see something that maybe not other people are seeing, like for us, we have to jump on that. We have to capitalize on it. So we did it with the milk pours, and people started getting very, I don't want to say angry, but very
No, they were angry.
animated
They were angry
about it.
All angry. All of them.
Yeah, because when
And
you
that's
look
why we
at
keep
it,
posting about it.
oh yeah, when somebody gets
Room.
feels a certain way, I needle on that. And so when you
Poking
look at
pride.
because when you look at the pour, it does look like a miss pour. It looks like somebody screwed it up.
It looks like
all
my
sorts of
screwed up
messed up.
golden stout when I poured it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
So I saw one of the home brewers. He actually was at Mount Gretna for a while. And he's entered the Central PA competition. He was actually at our share, and we were talking about it. Well, he got a side pool for his jockey box, so he's going to have a side pool at the homebrew festival. So I'm like,
that's
all right,
cool.
that's cool. That's different. That's a way to like get people there and get people excited about it. So I figured, why not post that online? And I'm like, oh, while I'm at it, why don't I remind people that if they really hate milk pours, now's the time to come up and tell us how you feel about it as they're being poured at the event.
Well, so Human Robot actually does that when they go to Fest. They have a side pull tap on their jockey box, and they do it. So he might have seen that. Who knows?
Yeah.
Which is awesome, though. I mean, good times.
Yeah, well, it's not a special tap for the jockey box, right? Like it's a special tap for being a special tap, but like you could put it on a draft system, you could put it on a jockey box. So yeah, why not throw it on a jockey box and bring the traveling circus to town?
Yeah. I tell you what, you guys have been great. Chad, I'm kind of glad we finally got to do something.
Same here.
Someday I'd like to get we meet in person, have a few beers in person.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
You too, Matt. Dave, any last things you want to bring?
No, it's been great. It's been interesting. I like to hear everybody talk about their industry, and I get an education out of it, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I think one thing all of us have in common, and all of our followers, is we like beer. We like to drink it. So speaking of, Chad, Matt, any last comments before we cheers out of here?
Just keep drinking craft beer, preferably Pennsylvania-made craft beer. And,
that's all you're going to find in my fridge. Now, although when I came home from camping, there was a Mick Ultra that wound up in my cooler. I have no fucking clue where it came from.
Straggler.
Straggler. It'll be there until I'm done.
Water, so that's good.
Yeah. Ain't that right?
I'd
Matt,
say,
any comments?
Keep drinking PA beer. Keep learning. That's what Chad and I keep doing. Nobody knows everything, right? So we're still learning about more about the process and just everything, right? There's new ingredients and things like that. But just have fun with it. I think that's overall what beer is supposed to be. It's fun and it's supposed to bring people together, right? We don't need to be arguing about things. And you just kick back, have a craft beer and shoot the shit, right?
Yep. So Ben, what do you got you're drinking out you're going to cheers with?
I drank all my beer that I have near me actually without getting up and going to the fridge. So
Matt, Chad, what do you guys got?
Cheers to you.
Yeah, so I've got our
PA glasses.
That's what I've been trying to get a hold of. PA Pride. I'm not sure if Brooks has still anymore or not.
This is version 5. This is the hazy IPA. Version 6 is we've been on back and forth over email this week. It's supposed to release next week, but there's some delays in packaging, so it probably won't release until at this point, late June.
I'll be texting late June. Think I'll be texting Brooks Amauer say, hey, because that's how we got the Adapt and Overcome. Brooks held us a couple 6-packs or 4-packs back for us. I'll be
Brooks
texting.
Is awesome.
Yeah, he's
Brooks is great. He's in almost every collab we do. So
he's awesome.
It's great to see.
Did you
him.
See what he did today?
I did. I cut his hair. I meant to comment.
Wait a minute.
Look it up. He cut his hair for a cause.
He's doing a week of donations.
Yeah, the donation. Girl, we did that at our church a couple years ago. He cut his hair.
I meant to comment that Brooks, don't take offense if the next time I see you I don't say hi. It's because I don't recognize you.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. So yesterday
he was in Minnesota with us. With his wife.
Yeah, I tell you what, he's an awesome dude, man. He is awesome.
Oh, I love that family. They're just genuinely good people. Those are the type of people this industry is all about. Just people you can get along with, hang out with, and just enjoy.
Matt, what are you going to be cheersing out with?
I still have the rest of my Adapt and Overcome. I drank my Levante as a pre warm up here to the show.
Okay. I've already had a couple. Dave, what do you got?
Yeah, I have a barrel age. It's a baklava.
Oh, I tell you what, we've had that one of our beer nights.
That one there.
That's from Boulevard?
Yeah, Boulevard.
Oh my God, you guys got to try that one. It's not a PA beer, but that's freaking awesome.
No, it looks good. It sounds good from Boulevard.
I'm going to be drinking a Big League Brew from Fourscore. This is the green apple.
Well, I was going to say what flavor. All right.
The green apple bubble gum. I got one more left.
I have a couple of their Girl Stouts still in my my fridge.
I tell you what, Ben mentioned the other night. Did you see the ice cream they just put out?
I did.
I did. I saw it, but I didn't read it. Ben said that's an alcohol ice cream. Like, holy shit!
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's only them and I think a place in Pittsburgh are the only two places I've
seen.
Yeah. Fourscore is known for these really creamy and juicy sour pours. I mean, they do a lot of these. We did their May the 4th release.
Yep.
We had those at the share. Somebody brought four, I think they were.
Yeah, that was 4 of them. Revenge of the Karen, Java Juice, which I think my youngest son Tanner took home. So I didn't get to try that one. They were all really good. I like Fourscore.
The 4-man share.
Gentlemen, Chad, Matt, keep up the good work what you guys are doing.
Thank
you for taking the time out tonight to join us. I'm glad we kind of finally got to do something together. Someday we're going to meet. Someday soon we'll hopefully meet in person. So if you're out there listening, give us a comment what you guys are drinking. Follow us on Tap. By all means, look up Breweries in PA on other social platforms, website. Look us up. Ben, any last comments?
All good here, man. Cheers,
Mr.
you're
Dave?
home.
We're
Chad,
good.
all right, you're good. Chad, Matt, thank you again.
Thank you so much. Cheers, guys.
Yep, appreciate it. Hope you guys wish you guys the best. Let's all raise a glass for the CPP and breweries in PA, and let's all be bonded by beer. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Yep, thank you guys.